and I'm here with Cyprian Josson, and you're listening to the Nollywood Spotlight Show on Nollywood Radio France. And as many of you know, I am all the way in Houston, Texas, USA. Wow, Cyprian, where are you located?
I'm in France here. I can say that 8,000 kilometers separates us away, and this is the magic of technology, the internet. So in my own city is a city of Chartres, 100 kilometers away from Paris. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, so Rebecca, what do you have for us today?
Oh, great question, Cyprian. You are going to love this. Okay, so apparently AY had a little comedy skit going on about Jim Ike, and this specific skit is called the Deliverance Skit. And this information, by the way, is on bellaninja.com. Definitely check out that blog. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so on this particular blog post that they had on there, apparently AY apologized to Jim Ike about making fun of him. And I quote, this is what AY is telling Jim Ike, and he did this via Twitter. So he goes, I quote, "It was designed to be a joke. It is still a joke. I'm a stand-up comedian, and we make people laugh for a living, and comedians are social commentators." That was what he said. So I was like, I don't understand. Where is Jim Ike coming from? What is the purpose of this annoyance? Like, what does he care about what AY said to him during a skit? I mean, what do you think about that, Cyprian?
Yeah, I think this is going to amuse their fans. This is what the fans are looking for. The fans of Jim Ike will be saying, "Oh, why is he keeping quiet? He has to give AY a very sharp reply." And then the fans of AY also. So I think Jim Ike, the bad boy of the industry, this is how he's known, will definitely reply, or he might ignore in a way AY, and then the fans will still be starved of that information.
Right, and I agree. And a lot of people don't know this about Jim Ike, but let me give you a little background about this bad boy, as Cyprian called him a few moments ago. So guess what, guys? Jim Ike actually graduated with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. So I think, for me personally, I feel like his rigid and really strict personality comes from his point of view as a philosopher, really. If he was going to take a different direction as a philosopher, I don't think Jim Ike would be that easygoing. I think he would still have that, strong personality that he presents right now out there.
Yeah, I think the strong personality is very important for the show. For his show, because if he has a weak personality, I think he could have been to where he is today. So philosophy is another point of view, because he's got another perspective of life. You see, he sees life quite differently, events and so on. And again, he must have carried that into his acting profession, which is also helping him. But now, what our fans and what our listeners might want to know will be, why did he get into acting? You see, from being a philosopher.
It doesn't make any sense. And I also have a friend of mine who I went to school with growing up. Very smart girl. She's always had resources at her fingertips. Everybody knows her as JJ Bunny on screen. And it was just so funny. Everyone who grew up with her were all surprised. We never thought that she would really take the route of acting. She just didn't look like that. She was always, the setting in which she put herself in was very professional setting, with the doctors and, the lawyers and things like that. So we naturally thought she was going to go in that direction. But anyways, definitely not a surprise. I hope Jim Ike, understands they're able, I would like to believe that he wouldn't really take what AY is saying seriously. A lot of times these conversations may be stemming from a more concrete conversation where someone takes out of proportion, you see what I mean? So I'm hoping that that's exactly what's going on, because for Jim Ike, being in the entertainment industry, he should understand that a lot of comedians are gonna take anything that is funny and make that as a product. It's natural. It's part of the entertainment industry, which, by the way, he himself is also part of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make any sense for him to really take that out of proportion and actually take what AY is saying personal. But anyway, I mean, you know how these things can go one way and turn out the other.
Yeah, and again, as we're talking about both of them, some people don't even care about what happens between AY and Jim Ike. But I think AY stands a better chance because he's a comedian. He's the mouthpiece of the people. What the people cannot say. I think a good number of people can give him some sketch. Can you just say this or that? So I think both of them, in my own opinion, should not come to this type of confrontation, personal confrontation. They should try as much as possible. Maybe why not work together? A comedian and an actor. And I think it's going to make a very wonderful match, you see.
I think so. I really do, because actually on this article with Bella Ninja, it also talks about Jim Ike collaborating with the famous P Square. He's collaborating with the famous Sultan, so musician Sultan. So I think he that would actually be a very, very good collaboration between the both of them if they actually come together and do something together. I think they can definitely take advantage of this publicity, converting this negative publicity between the both of them and making it actually worthwhile for them. They can make some money off of this, you know?
Yeah, they can
actually do something.
They can make some money out of it if they agree on the terms of the contract, because both of them are businessmen. This is what some people have forgotten. You must remember they are doing business. You are acting or you are a comedian. It boils down to money. So I think if they're not working together, that means it's not because they're not in good terms. It could be because there's no deal, a good deal between them.
Right. So, it could also be something else. Exactly, Cyprian. It could be a totally different conversation that may have gone south, and this is just sort of like a sugar coating of really what's boiling underneath behind the scenes.
Yeah, the ego. You know. It's all about. You know, I'm the bad boy of the industry, and the other one says, you know, I'm the mouthpiece, the comedian that can say whatever I like. You see, so I think it all boils down that the best way to raise the Nollywood industry or the music industry in Nigeria is for people to come together and again make sure that even if they are competing, that it should be a reasonable competition. And then that's the only way they can create more jobs and then create more opportunities for themselves. But some of them are satisfied. They don't need any other thing anymore, you see.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's different though for them, for the both of them, because Jim Ike, like I said, is an actor. He's into Nollywood. He acts in Nollywood. While AY is a very famous comedian, who really became well known in the past 2 to 3 years. So, I feel both of them are in the entertainment industry. It would be very weird for Jim Ike to actually take seriously what AY says when he himself is in that industry as well. You know, he understands the nature of the arts. So it's a way I highly doubt that the both of them are truly taking this personal. I want to say that it's more of like a publicity stunt than for them to really, for Jim Ike to really take what AY is saying personally and going through the media to really speak their mind. You know what I mean? But news is news.
Yeah,
that's what we do. We bring it to the front and let you guys judge on what you really think is going on between these two stars.
All right.
They are superstars. So.
Now, Rebecca, Rebecca, what's the next pick now?
All right.
Yeah.
Great question. The second story we have for you is P Square. I know you guys want to hear about this. This is a P Square piece. So, everybody knows the P Square brothers are, Peter Okoye and his twin brother are both having their weddings together on the same day. So, the point though is a lot of us don't know where this huge shindig is going to happen. And on Entertainment Ghana, this information is out for the whole world to see. entertainmentghana.com. So basically, the information we have on the table is the P Square brothers are going to have their wedding in none other than Dubai. So they're both going to have a lavish, multi-million-dollar wedding with lots and lots of Nollywood and Hollywood superstars. Lots and lots of rich people are going to be in this huge, tremendously beautiful, not going to take that away from Dubai, absolutely beautiful, but most importantly, expensive location in Dubai. So, Cyprian, what do you think about that? Why Dubai? Why?
Yeah, I'm shocked to hear that, because I think there are nice places in Nigeria where you can have such a sumptuous marriage, a wonderful marriage by Nigerian millionaires. That again could have created jobs, you see, for our people back home. Why go to Dubai for this type of marriage? It's not only him. A good number of them will fly down to Paris for their marriage. Is there nowhere in Nigeria where you can have your marriage if you are listening to this program? Please.
Excellent question, and a very, very important question to ask, because I feel like, we all, every single one of my family members who are in the United States, everyone, we always talk about, we're always asking each other, when are you going to go home? When are you going to go home? When are you going to go to Nigeria? When are you going to go? And a lot of us, even though our parents are here, we just have extended families back home, we still make an effort to go back home. Why? The purpose of doing that is to bring whatever it is there. If is the country to be, if Paris is the country to be, then we bring some of America and some of Paris to Nigeria so we can share that with our families back home and help the economy, help Nigeria, help the environment. We spend the money we earn here, we take it home and we spend it, so that they too can enjoy some of the luxuries that we enjoy here. So my thing is, P Square are absolutely fantastic musicians. They are great businessmen, but most importantly, they are influential individuals in that country. Everybody knows them in Nigeria. They have the ability to put out a message that is bigger than them. They're known in the US, they're known in Nigeria, they're known all over the world. So bringing Nigerian money to an already rich country, to spend more of that Nigerian money in that country just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's a big question. That's what I don't understand. Complaining that they have security problems. You see, there might be problems in the place where the marriage is going to take place, but that's not an excuse, because flying people down to Dubai with the private jets, you can have a lot of security officers in Nigeria.
The busload.
Yeah, busload. You can even create a security company for the marriage, because they
they have to, and it sounds funny for you to say that, but that is how much money these guys, that is the, let's cut out the money. Okay, fine. Not that they don't have the money, they do, but even if we separate the money and just put how influential these people are, having enough security for your wedding is not a problem.
Yeah, and again, these are the type of people that we go to blame the government. Say, the government is not doing enough, there is no light, there is no this, there is no that. But show example. If every one of us will start from our own standpoint to start to show examples, no matter how rich we may be, and then I think that's how things can improve. So going to London from Nigeria, or going to Dubai, going to anywhere you want, or coming to France for your marriage, is a way to knock admiration. You know, people like to say, "Oh, my marriage was I had my marriage in Dubai. I had my marriage in Paris. It was in Paris." Okay, but now you know too well you're not creating job for your people because you're a millionaire.
It's not even about that. They can't even say that because they travel all over the world. These guys were the guys who got the Jackson, the famous Jackson 5, well, because Michael Jackson is dead now.
Yeah.
But the remaining Jacksons together when he was doing his the day before his new, I mean, well, now it's no longer new, but his CD out when he was promoting a single.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the type of power and authority these guys have. I felt like them having their wedding in Dubai is just too much. I think they should definitely reconsider. Since the plans, according to the article, is not concrete, there is still an opportunity to change that entire plan around if they wanted to. I really think they should look into investing in Nigeria and actually having their wedding. I heard of a place in Nigeria called Banana Island.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never really been there, but I've heard so many stories about this particular island. Is right at the tip of Lagos Island, and it's pretty much like a neighborhood there. Only multi-billionaires live in that neighborhood. They have mansions of just awesome designs. I mean, it's like a country in itself within Nigeria. So knowing of a place like that, it's so weird for me to hear them say they want to go to Dubai. I think, they should definitely consider that location for their wedding. What do you think, Cyprian?
Yeah, in fact, I couldn't help say there's something that just that I've been thinking is about the millionaires in Nigeria and then the face of poverty on one side. I think it gives us a great concern that that some of them are not doing anything than to fly around with their private jets. But I know too well also that some of them are giving out a lot of money to help orphans, to help children, and again to improve their own society. Now, I think coming back to our friend P Square, the going to Dubai for his marriage, or my own point says that I think that the marriage can happen maybe in the Banana Island, you said, or go to a bush, and then clear it off, make it your wedding or whatever, and then after you say, okay, this place I'm going to use here after my marriage, in memory of my marriage, I build a school there. You see, something like that. You see, so I think what's happening not only in Nigeria, in the whole of Africa, is that we haven't learned a lot of lessons. Right. We like to show off. The difference between the place I am in France and a good number of African countries, no matter how, people don't show off with their money. You don't even know who has got money here. You see, because here we say the best way to enjoy your life is to hide. Don't show off. That's
really?
Yeah.
I don't think Nigerians understand that rule and regulation. I don't think that's in our vocabulary, Cyprian.
You see, you can see a millionaire living close to you. You will never know he's got money. You never know. So I think this makes the tension. It decreases the tension, making sure that people are not jealous, making sure that the competition is real competition, and not trying to spray money in the face of poor people. So I think that's the way. That's the lesson we're getting from this marriage, which is a very good marriage. We wish them. We have to wish them a happy marriage. You see,
right.
Also because remember that P Square, they started out of nothing, and then these guys raised their profiles, and then they became millionaires. That shows also that we have creative people in Nigeria, and that there are talents in Nigeria. And again, I'm so happy also to hear his music in so many places, even in so many places in France. I was just going to school the other day. For some of our listeners, I teach in a high school. And now I can hear some of the French guys in their car listening to P Square's music. They don't even know who the guy is.
Wow.
I was laughing.
How fantastic.
You see, so in fact, they have made them around the world to the extent that they cannot control their names. So what they have got from the society, they have to give back. This is what we're saying. I think that's the conclusion, is to give back what you give back to your people.
Yeah.
You see, so that's the point. That's the point. Marriage or no marriage, Dubai or no Dubai, give a little back to your people. And I think they are doing it, maybe, but if they are not doing it, they should start doing so.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And just so you guys know, those of you listening to Cyprian and I, today the United States is actually the first of the weekends of Martin Luther King Jr. So this is the Martin Luther King weekend that we're in right now. And just to remind you guys who Martin Luther King is, Martin Luther King was an American pastor, activist, humanitarian, and a leader in the African American civil rights movement. A very, very powerful speaker, a motivator, a teacher. A lot of people looked up to him, he inspired a lot of people. He's also one of my biggest inspirations as well. And we really, really appreciate what he's been doing. Even after he died, not just when he was alive, his legacy still lives on in this country. And we actually have a specific holiday for him, which is on a Monday. So we definitely want to remind you guys about that as well.
Yeah, the legacy of Martin Luther King will live forever in our minds, in the minds of millions of people outside the United States of America. Even in my studies here, Rebecca, I have got his poster just here. I Have a Dream, the wonderful speech he made. That speech, I wake up with the poster. And the poster says here, I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain. But nobody can imitate the voice of Martin Luther King. The voice of Martin Luther King, the delivery of Martin Luther King is just the best we have ever had in history. What a voice.
Great.
I have a dream. You see, I love that. So we are very proud of this wonderful man that did a lot to help humanity. Not only the United States of America, but around the world. We love you and continue to love you. And again, to his family, I can say, they will never know how people love them in France. Martin Luther King, even books that have been written in French and so many languages. And Martin Luther King is a whole subject for students here when we're talking about non-violence. The method of non-violence. You see, leading a people. He was the Moses of his own people, Martin Luther King. So how can we forget Martin Luther King? It's impossible. It's impossible. True. Nobody. So it's going to be a great moment of what do I say? A great moment of recollection. And again, I don't know how you're going to celebrate that in the United States. How do you do it? Because you just mentioned the end, but what's going to happen?
Oh, in the U.S., we're going to be hearing a lot of channels, radio stations, TV stations playing his I Have a Dream speech.
Yeah.
There's going to be a march downtown Houston, Texas.
Okay.
and a parade is gonna go on. I mean, it's huge. We don't take that lightly. So we really appreciate what he's done. Because of him, a lot of people believe that we have an opportunity to have a black president. I mean, it crosses all areas of racism. You know, today is just one of those many days where we remember to love each other and appreciate each other, regardless of where we're from or what our backgrounds look like. You know, we all just come together and celebrate each other. You know. So that's the image that he puts out there, and we take that very seriously.
And then talking about the speech, the I Have a Dream speech, what I like is just the last stanza, which says, the last lines, says, with this faith, we will be able to walk together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, knowing that we will be free one day.
Right. Amen to that. Isn't that awesome? That's actually something that's going on now, and there was one point in time where that was impossible. I can't imagine a life like that. I'm so fortunate to be living in this day and age where I can do whatever I want as a woman, not just being an African, a true African, and even an African American. Just even being a woman, to be able to do the things that I do, be in the circle that I am in. His speech went a long way to making that possible, and we just love him for standing up when nobody was going to stand up, when everybody was afraid. He stood up, he fought for what he believed in, and even after that, I think there were a lot of things that took place when he was alive, but a lot more important things also took place when he passed away. So his legacy lived on, his words were heard, and his dreams came to fruition. Even though he couldn't see it with both of his eyes, his children are seeing it, his grandchildren are seeing it. So we really appreciate him. We appreciate the King legacy.
Yeah. You've been listening to Nollywood Spotlight Show on Nollywood Radio France. And I'm with my colleague Rebecca Monyei in Houston, Texas. All the way, how many kilometers? 8,000 kilometers away on the Skype, just to reveal our little secrets to you. And then,
right?
And I'm here in France, in a beautiful city called Chartres, France. And Chartres, and it's just 100 kilometers away from Paris. So keep on listening to our podcast. And now, Rebecca, you can give your website, because we are partners. Give your website so that they can go to your website to find out more about that strong voice, Rebecca Monyei.
Right, and absolutely, thank you very much, Cyprian. The blog to visit is nollywoodspotlight.blogspot.com, and on that blog, keep in mind, guys, I will be posting pictures of everything we talked about. You're going to see pictures of Jim Ike and AY, the quarrel that went on between the two. We're also going to show you pictures of P Square and their Dubai planning. So definitely look out for that. Again, the blog to go to is nollywoodspotlight.blogspot.com.
And then you can also go to our website, www.nollywoodradiofrance.com.